This is definitely the worst thing we've ever done. Last week on the show, we created what we can only describe as a date satisfaction survey. Mm-hmm. And we sent out the date satisfaction survey.
Yes, we did.
To everyone I've ever been on a date with. Ever.
I was the one that was sending out the satisfaction survey to all these guys. And
not me.
You know, some of them might have blocked me at this point, but you know what? We made some friends along the way, so it's all fine.
We've had some interesting responses to the date satisfaction survey, and I put one certain ex of mine screenshotted it and posted it as a Facebook status with the caption, "If you ever think your life's going bad, you can't ever be as bad as my ex who's just posted a date satisfaction survey."
I am very apprehensive.
Why? Why are you apprehensive?
I don't want your heart to be ripped out. Like, I'm not going to lie to you, James. The vast majority of people just ignored me.
That's quite sad.
Yeah, I think it's also like Facebook. Like, sometimes you don't get the notification that someone's not your friend has messaged you. So hopefully, we might even get responses like a few months down the line. You never know. But I sent them the message. And I said, "Hi, I'm just doing some market research for James Waterhouse." Very official. If you could answer this 2-minute questionnaire, brackets, completely anonymous, that would be great. Only problem is I don't think it will be that anonymous because, like, you know most of these people and we've asked, why did you break up? So I feel
like the challenge will be if I can't remember it.
Yeah.
That could very much happen.
And yeah, a few people saw it and then just was like, okay. To be honest, that would have been me. I would have been like, okay, maybe they've answered, maybe they haven't. But yeah, some people like misconstrued it. They thought I was insinuating that you were James's boyfriend. And what they really didn't know is, no, I just have a list of all of your one-night stands.
The one date people, I think, were the aim of this survey more than anything else.
If you've even looked at James, you got a message.
Yeah, to be fair, literally, if you're Facebook friends with me, you would have got a message from Sean. All right, what could possibly go wrong? Really, I mean, what could possibly go...
Do we know how many responses we've had?
Well, I'm about to click the responses button.
If it's like 2, I will cry.
27! What? We've had 27 responses!
I am impressed.
I like that 25% have responded, "I don't know him." That's the first figure I've seen. Before we go into individual responses...
Yeah, let's study
Let's study the graphs. So, what were you to James? 25.9% said, "I don't know him."
That's amazing.
Which I think is quite fun.
I think I messaged the correct people.
Friends, 37%.
Yeah.
Boyfriend, there's one person has responded to that. Which is quite interesting. Dating, 14.8%. Friends with benefits has had a couple of responses.
Yeah.
And then one night stand has had 25.9%. Rate James from 1 to 10.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? You know what the highest rating has been? 10.
Yeah, that's just in the fact that 7 people clicked it, but I also want to say that 5 people clicked
5
1.
people did put 1, but 7 people put 10.
I think your mean average is about 7.
Got a 1.9. Don't know why they didn't give me a 10. They just gave me a 9.
Yeah, there was something you had to improve on.
Yeah. Did James have good chat? 25.9% have responded 5. 25.9% have responded 4.
Yeah, out of 5 this is.
Yeah. 18.5% responded 1. That's 5 responses 1, and 8 people responded 2.
I don't think that's anything to be proud of.
Could you see yourself with James ever again? 25.9% put yes!
That's amazing.
That is 1/4 of people said yes. Another quarter put maybe. 50% put no, but you know what? I'm happy with that.
That's like 15 people.
This is going incredible. And the final question, do you currently hate James? 82% said no.
Yeah, but that means 18.5% said yes.
Yeah, but that's a small minority of people that hate me.
I would count a small minority of below 5%, not 18, but okay, whatever makes you feel better about this, James.
You know what? I'm happy with that.
I think
that's gone well.
That has gone better than I thought.
I consider this a success so far.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not going to lie, that was the opposite of what I expected to happen.
There was a victory lap, ladies and
I did a
gentlemen.
victory lap of the studio for the 82% of people that don't hate me. I feel like the people who really, really hated me probably didn't do it.
Yeah.
Or I feel like you've either got to like me enough that you would fill it in, or hate me enough that you want to tear me down.
Exactly.
You know what? We've got 27 individual responses to get through.
This is where it gets
This is going to be a bit of a marathon.
Mm-hmm. It gets deep at this point because we're asking the hard-hitting questions.
These are the hard-hitting questions, like, why don't they like me?
Yeah, these are the things James needs to learn.
The first response to the James Waterhouse date satisfaction survey, it said, what were you to James? And they responded, dating.
Ooh.
They were asked to rate me from 1 to 10. They put 4.
That's really sad.
And then they rated that I had terrible chat. Why did you stop seeing James? This person's put, he was not really the right guy.
That's fair enough.
Which is fair enough. But then this is when this is get a bit weird. Because then it says, could you see yourself with James ever again? They put maybe. And then for do you currently hate James? They put yes. So they hate me, but they could potentially get back with me.
But that's sometimes the best relationships, and you just hate each other. I feel like that's sort of like a torturing thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get back with a guy that I hate and boss the hell out of me.
Yeah. Response number 2 says, what were you to James? And they responded, one night stand. Mm-hmm. It says, rate James from 1 to 10. They've given me a 7.
That's nice.
They did say again, I've got terrible chat. Were you in love with James? No. Oh my God, no. Why did you stop seeing James? His receding hairline. What could James do to improve in the future? Lots.
That's not very helpful though, is it? Not very specific there.
Yeah.
I feel like so far in the 4 we've analysed, the actual people that have dated you, not a big fan of your personality.
No, yeah. Okay, we're going on to response number 6. Rate James from 1 to 10. They've given me a 4.
Solid.
Did James have good chat? They've given me a 2.
I feel like this is your problem.
Why did you stop seeing James? They've responded clingy. What could James do to improve in the future? You're nice, but clingy. So work on that. And I wish you all the best.
I feel like...
Smiley face.
I feel like the smiley face makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
It's like a stab.
It's like, I'm trying to be nice to you.
Yeah. You stabbed it in with the sentence and the smiley face is just like
Clingy.
a twist in the knife. I just think clingy, that's such a mean thing to say. It's like, oh, well, I'm amazing and you liked me, but I didn't like you.
What were you to James? Friends with benefits. This has been quite a popular response so far. Rate James from 1 to 10. I got a 3. Did James have good chat? 2. Okay. So why did you stop seeing James? The response basically insinuates they were not satisfied.
Yeah.
In certain areas, and plus a lack of shared interests and values.
That's fair.
And then what could James do to improve things in the future? Be a bit more sensually engaged, is the response.
Show more interest in him.
Number 9, what were you to James? Friends with benefits.
Again.
Rate James from 1 to 10. 6. Did James have good chat? 2.
Yeah, I feel like that's the average at the moment.
Were you in love with James? No. Why did you stop seeing him? I moved abroad. This person has flown from Italy on 2 occasions to see me, and they gave me a 6.
Do you know what? If they're willing to fly across the world for a 6, imagine what they do for a 10.
Okay, let's power through a few more. What were you to James? Dating! Yes! Rate James from 1 to 10. They gave me a 10.
Oh, James is
I've just seen the response and I feel like a terrible human being. Did James have good chat? 4.
Uh-huh.
Were you in love with James? They responded yes. Why did you stop seeing James? It went too quick and I got scared.
We thought this reply was going to be harsh and critical, but no.
Oh dear.
James is literally crying. Just because they've replied nice things in a survey does not make up for any emotional trauma that you suffered.
I think the biggest plot twist about this survey is that it's actually gone relatively well. I think we were expecting a lot of hatred to come through.
Do you know what?
You know what? It hasn't happened.
It might go downhill towards the end, but now...
So, right, let's try and power through. We've got 17 more responses to get through.
Do you know what? This is exciting. Don't make it seem like a chore.
Number 14, rate James from 1 to 10. They've given me a 10.
That's good.
Did James have good chat? 5. Were you in love with James? Yes, defo. Why did you stop seeing James? We haven't. I'm confused by this because I don't know who this is. It says we haven't stopped seeing each other, but I'm not seeing anyone, so unless I'm in a relationship that I don't know about, the improvement is again about being a better lover. Number 15. We're halfway there pretty much. What were you to James? Dating? Rate James from 1 to 10, 1. Did James have good chat? 5. Were you in love with James? It's unlikely. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, like how do you not know?
They might have been. Who knows? Why did you stop seeing James? He was transparent.
Doesn't that
I'm
mean
like
you
a
just-
window.
Doesn't this mean you just tell people everything?
Yeah.
Transparency. How is that a bad thing?
Yeah, I know. Oh, final one before we go. We go to a bit of music. This person has responded one night stand. Mm-hmm. This is very creative, and I will give them that. It says, were you in love with James? They've responded, love is a strong word. I had some sort of feeling, kind of like when you cook the perfect amount of pasta for one, or see a disabled dog with 3 legs that gives perspective to your life.
I like that you just got compared to a disabled dog.
And pasta.
It meant, like, that's what dating you is like. It's like, just, you feel bad for them, and then you feel good because you're, like, letting them into your life.
Why do you stop seeing James? They've again put, I don't know if I have stopped.
Wow.
Who are these people? Who are these people that still think they're dating me? I've got 2 relationships now that I don't know about. He put, I don't know if I've stopped. He's like Clap. Just seems to keep coming back and making his way into my life. Like a poorly bleached gay Terminator or Cher. I just can't be rid of him. Poorly bleached gay Terminator. That's going in my Tinder bio. What could James do to improve things in the future? Not respond with one-word messages and leave me on red. Classic F-boy move, which reduces his chat potential. Maybe stop using industrial solvent as hair bleach too.
That was all constructive.
This one, we've finally got a response. It's an I don't know him response. We've finally got it. Someone who literally doesn't know who I am. They're giving me a 2. They said I got terrible chat. Were you in love with me? Absolutely not. Why'd you stop seeing James? Weirdo. What could James do to improve things in the future? I don't know, man. Just have better chat.
But the thing is, though, they don't.
But they don't know me.
They don't know you. So how could they give a response?
Yeah.
You're a weirdo that's made a date satisfaction survey.
Yeah, to be fair. Oh no, I've accidentally printed it. Oh no, what have I done? How do I stop this? Response number 22 of 27. What were you to James? Again, one night stand.
You're making a reputation for yourself.
Definitely
James.
got a reputation. Rate James from 1 to 10, 1. Did James have good chat? 2. Were you in love with James? Absolutely not. Why'd you stop seeing him? He's weird and too much to deal with.
What's more dramatic, Jeremy Kyle or analysis of your dating life?
We've had declarations of love, we've had declarations of hate, and we've had everything in between.
If you went on Jeremy Kyle, they'd have to expand the studio.
I've got my fingers crossed for an absolute banger. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit of an anticlimax, innit? What were you to James' friends? Rate James from 1 to 10, 10. Did James have good chat? 5. Were you in love with James? Related, so of course. This has got weird.
Was this your mum or something?
Oh my god, if my mom's filled out the survey. Oh, it is actually my mom. My mom has actually filled out the James Waterhouse date satisfaction survey. What could James do to improve things in the future? Concentrate on what he desires for his future.
Your mum's taken this survey as a means to lecture you.
I've said this a few times now during the show. We were expecting this to be hardcore and brutal, and it turned into a really positive experience. I think it's time to just have a quick summary of everything that's happened. I think my personal favourite of the responses has to be the one where they said that they loved me, but things moved too quickly and they got scared that they fell in love with me. Don't laugh at that. Don't laugh at that. That was someone pouring their heart out.
Do you know what?
In the James Waterhouse date satisfaction survey, they poured their heart out to us anonymously.
That is the saddest one.
It's actually really devastating.
I feel like if you did fall in love with James Waterhouse, you would be terrified. You'd be like, do I have an illness? Like, what's happening? Where's my life going? Is this who I really want to raise my children with?
I think some of the not helpful ones, be bigger. Nothing I can really do about that.
Go to the gym.
Right, we have one final thing that's come in. We, in the process of sending out this survey, received a very, very long review of me.
Someone was very, very wanting to get involved in this process, and they sent me it, and it's honestly the worst thing I've ever read.
And it simply reads, James Warehouse, bad hair, worse chat. I put James in the cheap eats category, considering on our second blind date, he instantly took my second pint, naively thinking I'd bought him a drink. In addition, James didn't offer to pay half of the Uber fare back to my house. Ironically, that £5.46 ride with Iftikhar was the better value ride of the night. I wish I'd given Iftikhar my tip that night. Not an awful kisser, surprisingly, but then again, with so much practice, James has no excuse not to be.
That's so true.
As for our drink at Terrace Bar, it was actually pretty good. James has decent chat, made me laugh, and has an approachable appearance, despite his hair looking like an industrial accident, and him repeatedly wearing that leather jacket that makes him look like a missing Fifth Village person. James did, however, have a decent body, considering the majority of his calorie intake must come from purple, fresh as tears, and fresh as... Yeah.
I just want to say something.
What are you going to say?
Show. I just want to bring the tone down completely. I know we've spent the last 2 hours ruthlessly taking the mick out of James and his love life. I just want to say for anyone listening that James is genuinely one of the loveliest people I have ever met. He is so intelligent, even though you wouldn't think it of him at first glance, and incredibly creative. And that's what makes this show so amazing.